Welcome back to the channel. It's Dr. Somji
and Dr. Solomon.
Today we're going to be reviewing a very popular skincare brand. We've done one brand about thermal water called Vichy, which you can see the link, but we're going to do one that's also as popular in terms of its origins as thermal water called La Roche Posay. So it originates even as far back as even the 15th, 16th century. The thermal water has been used for healing properties in the skin for, well, as long as humans are there, and thermal water's been there, right? So this is a brand that basically took that thermal water found in La Roche Posay region in France and made skincare in 1975. And they decided to use that thermal water within the formulation. So its background is healing, it's sensitive skin, it's repairing, and it's preventing that damaging process. So those are the fundamentals that we see with La Roche Posay.
So let's get started.
Let's get started. I'll let you head up the first one.
So the first one is the Effaclar Duo, which is essentially like an acne treatment. I have a lot of patients, as you do, who come in having been prescribed this by their dermatologist.
Yeah.
It's very popular, and I think with good reason as well. It's we can talk about the ingredients. It's something that I have actually prescribed myself. I do like it. It has a good combination of very potent acne treating ingredients. It's got a tried and tested history. It works and seems in a broad range of skin types as well. So we're talking about the ingredients.
So you've got niacinamide in there, which is great for the skin barrier, very good for acne prone skin, because if you've got acne prone skin, it's more than likely you've got an impaired skin barrier. It's got salicylic acid as well as lipohydroxy acid, so a slow version of salicylic acid essentially, that helps unclog pores. But salicylic acid is good because it's not too drying, it's not too harsh, it's good for sensitive skin that's prone to redness. It's a much better option than glycolic acid, and it's better for skin of color too. You've got zinc in there, which obviously controls sebum, mattifies the skin quite nicely. And this is something really cool and unique to La Roche Posay is the Procerat, which is a ceramide-based ingredient that helps decrease darker marks. So they're thinking about acne, and they're also thinking about the post-inflammatory process where you get more pigmentation, specifically in my skin type and your skin type. So it's great, like you said, for all skin types because of the ingredients that it has. And then it's also got the glycerin in, which gives that hydration to the skin.
And in fact, the niacinamide also helps with inhibiting pigmentation as well. So
absolutely.
Combined all together, you have an anti-inflammatory acne effect, but also inhibiting the effects of the inflammation from that as well.
Exactly. So if you've got post-red acne marks, post-pigmentation, brown acne or darker acne marks, then this is not a bad product to start considering. If we look at the Inky list, which we always look in detail, as you know, you've got silicone in there, so that's the reason why it smooths quite quickly. Obviously, look, if we fast forward 5 to 10 years, silicone is not going to be present in these products. You've got simple fatty acids that you can replace silicone with, and it's not great for the environment. We need to kind of care about the world. So ammonium in there, so we've got a cross polymer. All of these things are great for the skin barrier, making sure that you're reducing sebum control. Salicylic acid, like we've mentioned, we've got some vitriocilla ferment extract in there. All of these things are good stuff to really absorb nasties within the skin, reduce your bacterial load, but also build the skin barrier. Unfortunately, obviously, you've got perfume and fragrance in there, which for a brand that says that it's good for sensitive skin, if you're a person with sensitive skin, you'd be immediately attracted to La Roche Posay because that's what they're known for. But if you're putting perfume in it, even if it's a non-allergenic perfume, with repeated use over time, especially if you're acne prone, then you can be stimulating that inflammatory cascade and you'll get more sensitivity. So
I think that's the one negative take on this, but overall, for the ingredients, for what it does, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably give it lower because when I'm looking at the Inky list, niacinamide is very high up, but salicylic acid is quite low down. So I actually don't think it's that effective. I just think that you can get a niacinamide serum from the Ordinary or the Inky list and it'll pretty much do the same thing without irritating the skin. So I'll probably give it a 5 out of 10, I think. I think you've been seduced by the name, I think.
I see the results, and I think for what it is, I think it does a good job.
So this is quite expensive. It's about £20. So you're paying £20. just for some niacinamide and some silicone really, and very small amounts of salicylic acid. So I don't know whether it's worth the money, and it's a very small amount. It's like 40 mils as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice idea, but I think that it needs more. Like, you can't say that niacinamide is going to stop you having pigmentation. It's not a true pigmentation product.
Yeah.
The next product in the range is the Cicaplast Baume, the B5. You see this all over TikTok. It's really popular. It's like a magic healing cream. Look, you actually haven't used this product before,
I haven't, no.
so I'm going to let you look at it
Okay.
fresh and new. And I deliberately haven't told you anything about it.
It's very thick. It's my first impression.
Yeah.
Still.
It's suitable for babies as well. So like,
Yeah.
it's very similar to pseudo cream texture.
It has
right?
a very pseudo cream-like texture. I certainly would consider this for extremely dehydrated or dry or even inflammatory skin.
Probably mice.
Yeah. So possibly with sort of, you're talking about babies, nappy rash.
Yeah.
In terms of what we do in clinic, even possibly after some procedures where we use radiofrequency or laser and we ablate the skin.
Yeah. So like post CO2, post mole
CO2,
removal,
it's a
that sort of
very
stuff.
good barrier. I wouldn't use it as a daily moisturizer. I think it would be too oily on the skin.
Yeah, I
and
think if you're
potentially-
acne prone, you really, and
Stay
oily
away
skin,
from this.
stay away from this. But if you've got very compromised skin, chafed hands and stuff, for someone like me washing their hands so many times a day, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
You've got the healing spring water in there, which is great.
And you've got B5 as well.
Yeah, it's
so-
got the panthenol at 5% in there, as well as an ingredient that I have in my own skincare for the skin barrier, medacoside, which holds the water in,
Yeah.
and it's one of the best things for the barrier. Glycerin, shea butter, as well as the spring water. I think there's nice ingredients in there. If we look at the Inky list, it reveals all. You've got the water there, which is fantastic. You've got silicone, which obviously, because it's such a thick formulation,
Yeah.
you need something to help. They could replace that with fatty acids. Shea butter, which is there. Panthenol, like you talked about. Propiondiol. So, anything there's obviously enhancing the other ingredients that are there as well. More silicones. Medacoside is in there. Silica, just to help, kind of with the healing of the skin. Copper gluconate is there as well as a great antioxidant, and there's also some titanium dioxide in there, so giving that protection.
Yeah. So
Post
like
procedure.
you often see that in sun creams.
Yeah. Looking at the Inky list, obviously there's nothing really out there that strikes me as being really bad. Obviously you've got the silicone in there, but other than that, there's some great products. And actually, if you did have a small abrasion, small injury, little cut, little burn within the area, applying this twice daily will actually heal it quite a lot, and it's a nice balm to have it on there, and it also gives you a little bit of protection from UV as well, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's just a sort of superior version of white
Pseudo
paraffin, like
cream.
pseudo cream, or even Aquaphor, which we use after minor surgical procedures.
Yeah, and it's got these sort of antibacterial agents in there, which is great, as a thing. So I think you keep it in a handbag, keep it in your backpack. If you're traveling, this is something that'd be quite nice. And there's nothing really terrible in there, but it's different out there. And I think this is quite a nice little handy product to have. And post procedure, like you say, very good. So I would want some sort of healing things in there, things that help build collagen, other actives in there. But for the price point and where it's sitting at, it's not too bad. I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
I'll give it a 7 as well.
Perfect. Here's the next product. This is the Toleriane Sensitive Cream, and I hear a lot of good things about this
let's
all
give
the
it a
time. Everyone tells me some great things about this. It can be used on babies again, so it's really designed for good sensitive skin. Smooths what
Glides on
beautifully. Really nice texture, non-tacky feel.
Yeah.
It's a great emollient, and you've got that nice thermal water to help kind of almost relieve sensitive skin. It's got some prebiotics in there, which is great on trend. I love products with prebiotics. Helps with your natural skin to make sure that it works correctly, which is really cool. And it says that it's got the seal of approval by allergy specialists, and 9 out of 10 dermatologists
Very high rating among
recommending it.
specialists, in fact.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the Inky list, and they've done some studies. So the study that said it's for 4 weeks, most people said that there was 55% less dryness, 98% reduction in tightness. 77% reduction in stinging. So if you've got really sensitive, compromised skin, this looks like something that would be really good for you. So say if you've been using products with a lot of fragrance in there, a lot of denatured alcohol, like other brands that you see on the chat that we reviewed on the channel, and you suddenly got very sensitive skin, using this, you know, is going to help rescue you. It's not going to change your skin. It's not going to help you anti-age. It's not going to help with rosacea. It's not going to help with pigmentation, but it's going to maintain things nicely.
Yeah.
And if you've got everything on your skin and you're reacting to it, this is something that you could use. And looking at the Inky list, there's nothing really terrible. I like the use of squalane in there. It's a really on-trend ingredient that I love personally, and is great for ladies when they want to layer their makeup as well.
And the video we've done separately on squalane.
And squalane, we've done a separate video. I forgot about that. And then you got the shea butter, which is there, which is fantastic. You see a lot of parallels with Vichy over here, isn't it? But they're not putting too many nastiness in there. They've got the niacinamide in there for the skin barrier as well, cetearyl alcohol as well, nice fatty acids within there. You know, it's all good formulations. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just a nice standard moisturizer with no nastiness in there. So, you know, I think this is not going to do damage to your skin. It's a solid product, but it won't change your skin. But nevertheless, let's put it as a solid 7 out of 10.
I'm actually going to go higher. I'm
Oh, right.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it does what it says on the tin.
True, true. So the next product is the anti-wrinkle retinol cream. So this is on pack. It says this, the Redermic retinol anti-aging concentrate intensive, tested on sensitive skin. So retinol is the main thing that they're talking about here. It's got a simple pack. And you can see that. Let's try a little bit there.
And in fact, it's 0.3% retinol, which we consider to be a starting retinol.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, 0.25, 0.1, you know, are good starter ones. But, you know, don't look at the percentage of retinol because, you know, that is always misleading. Take information from the company as to whether it's a strong one or not. But it looks like it's a milder 1.3, right? So let's have a look and see what they say on pack and what the benefits are. It's a Redermic R, so this is what they're calling their retinol. They've obviously trademarked this name. It's tested for anti-wrinkle efficacy for sensitive skin. It's also got an added retinol booster complex of retinolinolate. So this is retinol ester, so something that's a little bit less than a retinol, just to add up what it is. Adenosine is great for anti-wrinkle benefits. It works synergistically with the formula. And again, you know, this what they're highlighting, this sensitive skin thing. So, you know, it's nice on the skin.
It is. The first thing that strikes me is actually it's very fragrant. And looking at the Inky, there is actually a fragrance in it.
Yeah, look, your nose never lies.
And nose never lies. And in fact, it's relatively high up on the Inky list, which means it's not at a very low concentration. So you're using a retinol.
Actually, the fragrance is at a higher level than the retinol palmitate.
Indeed. So there is a relatively
so it's a very
risk.
low concentration.
Low concentration, and high risk of irritating the skin, unrelated to the retinol. But then the retinol itself could irritate the skin.
I mean, it's a shame because obviously you've got some things like soybean extract. You've got the tocopherol, which will help with the barrier when combined with the retinol, which, you know, I think brands like the Inky List and Ordinary do really well. But obviously they don't include the perfume, and sometimes these products don't smell so nice, especially with soybean extract and stuff. Doesn't smell too good, but for them to put the fragrance in is a little bit disappointing. I guess because it's a leave-on thing and you're putting it on at night, they want it to smell a little bit better. And most people wouldn't mind so much, but because this is a brand for sensitive skin, I'm going to be more harsh on them because this is not a mainstream brand as well. You know, this is actually, people seek out La Roche Posay because they have sensitive skin. You know, they want to use, you know, their sensitive cream repair for compromised people with compromised barriers, and then suddenly you start putting, you know, fragrance in there. That's a little bit disappointing in my view. And it doesn't need to be. It's a low strength retinol. So I'm disappointed. I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 10 for that reason.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 as well.
And low concentration of retinol, no other actives in there. So, you know,
it's a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, retinol esters, you know, I don't really care about that so much, to be honest. So yeah, that's probably one of the worst products in the range, I'd say. On retinols, you've got the Retinol B3 serum. So, you know, this is a concentrate. It's made in this nice sort of dropper fashion, interesting color, and then you've also got this. You expect it to be a lot more thinner serum, right?
Yeah, it has almost a hybrid cream serum feel to it.
Yeah. So you wonder why they didn't just have an air pump.
An air pump, exactly. So first impressions, it glides on quite nicely, and I think the creamy nature of it aids that. So you sort of spread the serum, but
Yeah, you've got
I'm of
some
the
good.
belief that you're either serum or you're cream. I understand.
This is a hybrid type thing.
Yeah, the hybrids.
You got some glycerin in there, which will help.
It'll help. Certainly helps spread, and it certainly helps give that consistency.
And you got the silicone in there, obviously.
Yeah, well, you have to think about the benefits. What are the
Yeah.
benefits of a serum ultimately compared to a cream?
Well, active absorption, so
Yeah.
better absorption. You can be a little bit cleaner with the formulation. You don't have to obviously add things that will essentially be comedogenic, so
Yeah.
things that will block your pores. And you can layer.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is too creamy.
It's too
for a
creamy,
serum.
and I think it almost cancels out, or certainly significantly reduces the benefits of a serum.
Yeah, and they've got a retinol cream. And then they've got this, which is
Yeah.
basically cream. I would have liked to have seen a nice
Yeah.
serum. And they've added things like soya oil in their soybean oil, silicone, which is very similar to the previous retinol that we looked at. It's retinol palmitate, so it's nothing too strong. Obviously there was a strong fragrance there, the perfume. So for retinol adding perfumes, it's never a good idea in my opinion, because it will just be a hotbed of sensitivities. And again, we're more harsh on La Roche Posay, including perfumes, than other brands. And there's also denatured alcohol in there, which is a big sensitizer of the skin. It'll make your skin really sensitive with repeated use. And people love retinol and they use this a lot. So it's a little bit disappointing that they decided to do this. And again, low concentration of retinol, not many other peptides in there, which is quite disappointing. And neither serum, neither cream. I don't like hybrid stuff. You're either petrol or you're electric. Can't be doing a hybrid thing. So no, again, I think this is a 3 out of 10, really.
Yeah, I think the ingredients are definitely a step up from the retinol cream. And I do like what they've included in that. I think it's including the vitamin B3,
Okay, yeah,
the
fair enough.
retinol.
Yeah.
I would give it a 4 out of 10 based on that, but it certainly loses a lot of points on the hybrid.
On the brand identity,
I'll call it a hybrid fail.
hybrid fell.
Yeah.
The next product in the range is the Pure Vitamin C10 serum.
Vitamin C10 serum. What does the 10 stand for?
I think it's a percentage of vitamin C. Let's have a look at my notes. Yeah, 10% vitamin C.
Which is a relatively high concentration for serum.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Inky, the type of vitamin C we're looking at is ascorbic acid. So standard vitamin C, nothing special. I always like precursors of vitamin C because vitamin C is very unstable by nature. So if you're going to put that on the surface of the skin, you want it to be converted in. So precursors are really good, or even derivatives are sometimes good as well. But look, let's just talk about the packaging. This is not the packaging for a vitamin C.
No.
Air is getting into this. It's not the best. I want air pumps,
Yeah,
And look, this
and
has already started leaking as well, you can see.
I feel
So
some
that's
light will penetrate there as well, and that can
Even in
partially-
big brands, I've noticed these. We sell vitamin C at the clinic, and they do it in these things, and I never know why, because you lose that efficacy, which is really disappointing.
And yet again, we have a hybrid.
Yeah, it's
So-
another hybrid. So
Very
it's really
fragrant hybrid serum cream. My feeling is that if
smells
it's a
of
hybrid,
holidays.
it does. It has a very summery, citrusy
Yeah,
feel. I mean, it's very nice in terms of its fragrance and even in terms of its appearance. But in my opinion, you're either a serum or you're a cream. And we understand the principle behind having a hybrid, so you get that spread, but you again cancel out the benefits of having a serum.
Yeah, and I mean, look, sometimes you want to wear a vitamin C and then put a moisturizer on top,
Yeah.
and you're denying people. And it's very silicone-y to me. You've got ascorbic acid as a very high concentration there, glycerin, which is great. Then you've got denatured alcohol, which is a big no-no nowadays. There's no excuse for that to be so high up. Silicone, like I said, you know, I think it's a lot of silicone in these products, and if you layer them up, if you layer silicone up, it can be comedogenic. I know it's not listed as a comedogenic agent, but it is. And also it's terrible for the environment, like I keep saying. So, you know, I think that's a little bit disappointing. You've got the salicylic acid, which combination of salicylic acid and vitamin C is nice because, like you told me earlier on off cam, exfoliating and then allows the vitamin C to penetrate nicely. And there's some good peptides in there. These are the type of ingredients that I expected with their retinol serums. So, you know, they've tried really hard here with these active ingredients. I think it's pretty cool with the thermal water as well, but just the addition of the denatured alcohol to make sure that it sits on shelf properly and for a longer period of time without ruining. And also, the packaging is not so good, and the perfume, you know, we're gonna have to again give it a sort of a low 3 out of 10, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this actually a 2.
You can get 10%, 15% vitamin C from the Ordinary, and Inky List is better than this.
I just feel that if you're going to partially inactivate the vitamin C, you lose predominantly what the
you can get 10% vitamin C and EGF from the Inky List is better than this. Right. So next product is the Effaclar Serum Ultra Concentrate. So this is anti-imperfection and marks daily peeling. So this is going to be a little bit stronger. It's going to help with your pigmentation, but even though it's a daily peeling, it's going to be light and it should be good for sensitive skin. Comes in a nice little color, I like it. And here we go. So this is a daily peeling solution.
So it's more serum, has more of a serum consistency than a cream.
It smells, I can smell that strong, right?
Yeah, it is quite strong. There's a high concentration of salicylic acid and importantly has glycolic acid, which will help the turnover of skin cells. And you've got the niacinamide, which will help with the inflammation, pigmentation. So it's a good combination that work in synergy together. We know there's evidence for this. A lot of brands use these together, both in pigmentation treatments and acne treatment.
It's like an AHA, BHA serum, basically, but a light version with perfume in it.
Yeah, I do like
and denatured alcohol.
Yeah, so it's very perfumed again. It's got denatured alcohol. Those are 2 negative marks on it, but it has more of a serum consistency. So it's stuck to the true nature of what actually a serum is. And with the high concentration of salicylic, with the glycolic acid and the niacinamide, which will penetrate deeper because of those 2 acids, I think it wins some points there.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you've got non-sensitive skin and you want light peeling, this is the thing for you. If you've got sensitive skin and you want light peeling, then this isn't, because this will probably introduce essentially allergens into the skin, damage the barrier. But it's a nice idea to have glycolic, salicylic and niacinamide as a nice mixture. I think the idea is correct, but I just think that, you know, the top and tail of the product, which is denatured alcohol and perfume, just ruins it. And also, you know, I like the packaging, it's nice, but it just, I don't know who's going to be able to use this product, you know, because if you've got non-sensitive skin, you're better off going for like a Paula's Choice AHA, BHA and doing it properly, rather than doing this on a daily basis.
And then if you do have sensitive skin, you've got
you have to do this,
and you've got the perfume.
So, you know, I'm lost on brand message here, I really am. So, you know, again, this is a 3 out of 10 for me.
I'm going to give it a 4 simply because of the mix of ingredients. I like the fact that they are high concentration. I like the idea of penetrating and increasing that cell turnover and allowing that niacinamide to go in. But again, the consistency of it, the denatured alcohol, the perfume.
I just feel we have to be harsh on them because of what they appear to be in the media. But, you know, maybe I'm wrong, you know. You tell me in the comments. This is the last product that we're reviewing in the range. It's the Pure Niacinamide Serum 10, so it's assuming that's 10%.
10% niacinamide. So.
Anti-dark spot concentrate, repairing, brightening, very small formulation, 30 mils, which is not a problem. It's one of your serums / creams again.
Yeah, it's a hybrid again.
Yeah, I want to see this in an air pump, always. I just think it looks nicer to have it in an air pump.
I also...
preserves the ingredients better.
Again, I would
interesting color as well.
What it is. So call it a serum if it's a serum, call it a hybrid if it's a hybrid. again, nice fragrance. Interestingly, with this one as well, you have some titanium dioxide in it, which acts as a barrier.
Yeah,
so
that's a nice idea.
It's a nice idea. It's got some sun protection in it, so it's a good antioxidant for the day. You've got the niacinamide, and then you've got the barrier protection to sort of stop the damaging effects of that. But you know, the idea would be that you'd wear this under some SPF anyway, and you know, perhaps you would want to just wear this at night. So
yeah, I mean, the instructions obviously apply morning and evening, and use with an SPF greater than 15%.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've got the niacinamide obviously high out. You've got the denatured alcohol in there, and you've got the perfume. But then you've got some, you know, kind of interesting formulations in there. Like you said, the sorbitol oleate, resorcinol is in there as well. So, you know, there's some actually good ingredients for pigmentation. It's not going to remove pigmentation, but it'll help fade it and prevent it if you're pigmentation prone. So if you see a lot of sun, this is not a bad product to use. If you're don't have sensitive skin, again, this is something that you'd want to use as well.
Yeah, what's interesting is that 9 out of 10 UK dermatologists apparently recommend it for sensitive skin. And
yeah.
You've got very high up on the inky list denatured alcohol. So
yeah, I think that that has to change, you know, because, you know, I find like I'm very different from other doctors. I'll actually read the ingredients list rather than list, you know, see what they're saying on their website. And, you know, that reveals a lot. And I think that, you know, there's a difference between a doctor that obviously I've done a postgraduate in dermatology. You've worked in dermatological units for a long period of time.
Yeah.
We know general skin stuff, but we don't know formulation, and I had to learn formulating my own products. So when you're reading these ingredients, you understand what's going on. So yeah, I'm disappointed again by the niacinamide, but it's more of an interesting formulation. So therefore, it's, you know, it's a good 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I do like the concentration of niacinamide. Again, loses marks with the hybrid nature of the serum / cream, the denatured alcohol in the perfume. I'm not sure adding titanium dioxide adds much to it if you're going to wear an SPF, which they recommend. I think it's an unfortunate addition to it, in my opinion, but anything to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, you had high hopes for Roche Posay. You recommend a lot of it during your practice, but you haven't been exposed to the serums.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts about the brand as a whole?
So the brand as a whole, I've always been very impressed with the hydrating side of the range. I certainly recommend the moisturizers, the hyaluronic acid moisturizers. I like the consistency. Patients tolerate them very well. The barrier cream is very, very useful as well, and certainly we would be using it or potentially be using it in clinic after some procedures that ablate the skin. With my limited exposure to the serums, I'd say I'm not impressed at all. I am quite disappointed with the packaging that doesn't, in my opinion, protect the ingredients, and also with the consistency of it. You know, call a serum, call a cream, and call a hybrid.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know, what we've seen today has, to me, been a bit disappointing from a brand that should be a bit more careful with how they package and name products. Yeah,
I think I'd have to agree with you. I feel like these 3 products, the Effaclar Duo, the Tolerant Sensitive Cream, the Cicaplast B5, are the hero products. They're the top 3 products that we see, and they're all, you know, immersed in the history of La Roche Posay, taking advantage of that nice mineral water and the healing properties. All of this side with the serums, the retinols, the buzzwords, the vitamin C's, they've just done it for essentially clickbait. If you don't have sensitive skin and you just want something just to chug along, you know, I really recommend the healing creams and things like that. You know, the serums are going to give you a good result over time, but you'd be better off with actually more affordable products such as the Inky List and the Ordinary. If you want something that's a little bit better, then the Paula's Choice is also a good idea and good choice, I guess. But for the barrier creams, the healing creams, then La Roche Posay, I think, you know, is a big winner over here. And so, if you have any questions about all of those products below, just ask us in the questions. If there's any other products you want us to review, we can do that on YouTube Shorts as well. Don't forget to check out our other channels on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere, right?
All the social channels.
All the social channels. We do slightly different things on each different channels. And don't forget to like and subscribe.